Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Go Native Farms on location. Today we are here once again on the White Mountain Apache Reservation, and we are here again with TJ Dehose. He is an amazing artist. If you haven't seen the first video, please check out the first video I did with him, and it is called Interview with a Native American Basket Weaver, and he has all sorts of jewelry, which you should also check out as well. And today, we're going to talk a little bit about drums, because when I was doing the first video, I found out that TJ does drums. So what I did is I brought him a couple of elk skins that we have here, and he's going to go ahead and make me a drum, a bass drum. And let's go ahead and we'll get right into it and just talk to TJ. So please tell us a little bit about that drum you have there, and what you plan to do with these elk skins I brought you.
Okay. First, my name is Dehose, and people call me TJ. I'm Royal White Bamboo. My clan is Royal White Bamboo from my mom's. My dad is Butterfly. An Apache would say, and I'm from Sibiku, part of the White Mountain Apache tribe.
So I brought these elk skins. We got one that I brought. The one that's on the table right there is from Apache Reservation in Hickoria.
Oh, okay.
And just can you tell us a little bit, how are you planning?
So how I'm gonna start?
Yeah, how are you gonna turn that into that
So,
drum you're standing next to?
What he wants is a powwow drum, and this is what, similar to what I'm gonna make him. This is a powwow drum.
And that's huge.
Yeah. And I make this one out of elk hide,
Okay.
and I used a bass drum frame for the frame, and then I used wet elk hide, and then I cut it out and tied it down, and then let it dry, and then it became a drum.
So what's the first step you're gonna take with this elk skin here?
Okay, so-
Because it's frozen right now.
So first I'm gonna let it thaw out, and then once it's thawed out, I'm going to build a frame
A frame?
for it out of maybe elm.
Elmwood?
And then once I tie it up, I'm going to flesh it. I might try dry fleshing. I've always wanted to do that, where you scrape the inside while
Okay.
it's dry. But most likely I'll probably do the wet fleshing, which is on the beam. So I'll have a beam on a tripod
Okay.
going downward, and then I'll have the elk hide on top, and I'll use a scraper and I'll scrape downward. And I'll
Okay.
take all the flesh off. Then when the flesh is taken off, I will get oak ash. Any hardwood ash is good, and I will wet it into like a mud consistency, and I'll put it all through the fur. Then I'll roll it up, and then sometimes I'll usually bury it in wet ground,
Okay.
or I'll hang it up in the tree. Then once it's after about 2 or 3 days,
Okay.
I'll take it down, and then the hair should come off with the membrane. So I'll scrape that off, and then once that process is done, I'll wash it off, clean it up, and then measure it over the drum frame,
Okay.
cut it out, and then cut the laces from the same height, and then tie it up loosely, and then let it dry, and it should tighten up. And once it's done, I will make a drumstick for the drum.
So that's quite a process. Where'd you learn all that?
Let's see. My grandmother on my dad's side,
Yeah.
my dad's
Mm-hmm.
dad, my grandfather, his brother's wife.
Okay.
So she taught me how to weave, and at the same time she taught me how to brain tan hide.
Okay.
She explained the process, but she was up in age, so she couldn't show me a lot of the stuff. So my mom knew of a lady down in San Carlos. passed away though, but she was well known for making dresses for ceremonies, buckskin dresses.
Uh-huh.
And she brain tanned her own hide, so she walked me through it over the phone.
Wow.
And that's how I did my first hide. And ever since then, I've been doing hides, and the more I did it, the more I learned from trial and error, I guess.
Wow, that's pretty impressive that you learned over the phone.
And so I also would read up on it, and what process they would our ancestors would do was very strict. My grandmother would say that when they would do this, they would go away from people. It was not done in front of people. It was so sacred that you had to do it alone, because you didn't want to ruin the process, and you want the process to go smoothly. And if other people came up, you don't know what they're thinking. Sometimes they'll be thinking, negatively about you or about the process, and it'll make the brain tanning harder.
Interesting.
And then I heard some stories from other people that there were songs that went with it. Sometimes they would be singing. My grandmother said, when you're doing this, be in prayer, but also be happy. When the more you're happy, the lighter it is. The work is not as heavy. So
that kind of makes sense. Would you mind turning that drum sideways and showing us a little bit about? Is that sinew on the side?
Yeah, like I said, this is the same strap from the hide.
Okay.
And once I cut the round part out, I will use the rest of what's left to cut straps out of it, and then I'll use that to tie the hide down.
That's pretty neat. Would you mind tapping on it a little, just so we can hear the bass? So that's really neat. That's what I have always liked, was those bass drums, which is why I asked and met up with you and wanted to have you make a drum for me. So we're gonna...
Hopefully, I was thinking, while I'm doing the process, I'll have somebody record me at each stage.
Yeah.
And then you can do the rest.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll put it together,
Yeah.
and we'll show people how your drum making process goes.
Yeah.
And then you teach people different things at the different artwork, and I'm not sure if we would call this artwork because it's functional, but are you going to teach anything about drum making at the school coming up?
Yeah, we're actually getting ready to work on hand drums.
Hand drums.
Yeah, a lot of my students are part of the Apache Club, and they sing Apache songs.
All right.
But they're also interested in singing powwow songs, and I used to teach powwow songs years ago. I used to have a drum group here.
Okay.
I myself dance in powwows. I haven't in a while, but also kind of mix the Plains culture with my teaching.
Okay.
But we also use Apache words in our powwow songs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you very much for taking time to talk with us today. Is there anything else you wanted to put in about the drums or the elks or anything? Or did we cover most everything today?
I think we did. I'm trying to think here. Yeah, I think we did. And
Okay.
if I come up with something else,
Okay.
I'll let you all know.
Sounds good. We're gonna just quickly look at some bow and arrows, and we're just gonna show you what's coming up on the next video. We're gonna do another video about these bows and arrows, and stay tuned because that's coming up next, and it's gonna be pretty interesting, and there's all sorts of knowledge and information that TJ is going to share with us. So thank you very much once again for tuning in, and thank you once again for doing the interview and taking the time to enlighten people about these arts that are starting to fade away. I'm guessing, we'll just ask one more question, but I guess not too many people do this anymore. Am I right?
Not that I know of. I know maybe one or two people in Wirewood, but the majority are non-native.
Okay.
They have a lot of videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm trying to bring it back to our people. this was who they were, and this was who they are.
Mm-hmm.
This is who they are, and this is what we did, and I don't want it to be lost.
Yeah, I don't want to see it lost either, and that's why I was glad you would take the time to talk to us about the drum making process. And maybe in the future we'll do another video, but possibly think about it. Maybe you want to teach some classes to the public or something like that.
Oh, on the drum, like I said, I also dance in powwows, and so that's how I was connected with the Plains culture. And then a family from up north, a Cree family and a Dakota, Cree woman and Dakota man became my father and mother.
Wow.
Through the powwow.
Okay.
The powwow arena, and so they adopted me, and through them I learned a lot about Plains culture.
Nice.
And then also did a lot of studies of Apache Plains.
Okay.
And they did a lot of this kind of drums. Our drums are water drums.
Water drums.
That's another thing that I want to teach my students is making pottery.
Okay.
That's what we used to do here, but we lost. We didn't lose it. It wasn't that important, maybe just for drums or boiling meat back in the day. But because our people moved around constantly, things broke, and so everything they made was meant to last and be strong. But when it came to the old drums before metal came in, or kettles came in, they made it out of pottery. And so that's what I want to bring back is the pottery drums. And I've made one, and I'm going to try to teach that to my students. The pottery I learned from Hickory Apache.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Anything else you wanted to add before we cut out? Okay. So stay tuned, everybody, and please remember to like and subscribe so I can hopefully bring you more of these amazing videos from amazing artists. We're planning to go up to Hopi in a little while as well and talk to some conchina makers and basket makers up there. Katsina. Well, thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you.